Hello, welcome to the Transcendent. In this video, we'll learn HTML quotes and how does this function works. Right up until this moment, we've been delving into topics that provide us with the ability to read screens more effectively and efficiently. Sections, titles, strong and slant lists. What about adding a cited excerpt? Let's view this saying from the Transcendent. Now, mainly this is a section, so let's wrap it in p tags. We can employ the cite label to name the transcendent as the source who spoke this. And we can frame the whole piece in a blockquote label to set it from nearby words. These two labels, cite and blockquote, are being used for their meaning value to tell devices, hey, this is what this is. They are additionally valuable locations to utilize for impeccably aiming hairstyling. It's important to have a comfortable seating environment during your hairstyling session in order to ensure that you get the best result from your hairstyling experience. We can shape each of these parts look how we wish using CSS. We can skillfully craft the blockquote to make it stand out and appear truly unique. In this case, within the blockquote piece, we find two sections and a source. We can undoubtedly incorporate any desired feature within this specific blockquote and place an auction listing in there, accompanied by an appropriate heading. Features must be placed within one another in some logical form. Considering the case where certain sayings are not explicitly set blocks, the following modification can be made to the text provided. What about words that are just placed inside some text like this? These quote signs are indeed simple keyed into the text, but as these are basic quote signs, we believe they are essential to incorporate some level of intelligence into them, enhancing their overall appearance and functionality. Though that is our writing sense that deems these must be smart quotes. For lots of you across the globe, there are many other forms that these quote signs must appear. It hinges on the tongue, the writing, or the print rules of a certain area. Instead of keying or typing the quotes manually, we can certainly utilize the Q label and allow the browser to assist us in adding the quote signs for added clarity and convenience. The Q symbol represents a quote. Here we have taken this particular quote and have made alterations to its translations. You can observe that the quotation marks tend to vary slightly in these other languages as well. Matching the blockquote piece to the Q piece effectively demonstrates what you might intuitively sense about HTML. Some of these elements are what's termed inline. They're meant for wrapping near words of content that sit with other content, like the Q element, strong, B, I, and M, and lots more elements. They are inline elements. You wrap them around words of text, or they serve a close, inline role. Think of inline elements as text decorators. They're like little outfits you can put on specific words or phrases without breaking the flow of the sentence. They play nicely with their text neighbors, keeping everything on the same line. Other elements are block-level elements, blockquote, section, P, an order list, div, etc. These elements each start a fresh block. They're a unit on the page, a block that can see next to new block. There's much techie detail on this we could share, however. Some of this touches CSS, and when you use CSS, you can swap how blocks act to inline or how inline acts to block. But before you start musing on layout or CSS, there's this built-in sense you begin to form about some HTML pieces. Some serve to mark stuff that's part of a larger stuff, and some are the larger stuff. Each one hogs an entire line, like a VIP taking up a whole row at the movies. Think paragraphs, headings, and lists. They all start a new line and stack neatly on top of each other, while CSS lets you mix things up later. They're renowned for their independent, line-breaking HTML abilities. Q and blockquote elements are apt ways to match inline to block. They near serve the same role, yet they differ. One is for inline words, and the other builds a block setting. That's how to mark your sayings. The block, quote, Q, and cite elements. Use Q for inline quotes, blockquote for standout declarations, and cite for credit, quote like a pro. You can find all the necessary files and exercises to practice with this video in the attached files.